Okay. All right, thank you guys all for coming. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'll read the acknowledgement. The Mayor and Council wish to acknowledge the town of Fort Smith is located within Treaty 8 territory. Treaty 8 territory also encompasses the traditional homelands of Salt River First Nation, Smith Landing First Nation, and the Indigenous Métis peoples of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship of the sacred lands and throughout the generations, and we honor your knowledge, teachings, traditions, and the land. We're mindful that colonization has not been kind, and we respectfully recognize our generational histories and commit to strive for unity in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. Right, so we'll move the agenda.
Sure.
Okay, and second, so there is an addition. Oh, it's not on here. I need to add a,
It's on the backer.
It's on the back, yeah.
That the agenda be adopted as amended to add an in-camera.
okay, we don't have to say what part of the CTV Act that's
That
for?
will come in with the actual
Oh,
motion to
okay.
go in-camera.
Okay. All right, and you guys are okay with the amended agenda? Okay. All right, all in favor? Perfect. So we have a delegation here tonight. If RCMP want to come up and give us their presentation, please. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Constable Alex Osola. As I'm sure some of you or most of you are aware, Sergeant Yilmaz, who was attending these meetings, he transferred out, and now it's Corporal Dan Doucette is going to be the acting detachment commander in the interim. He's just away on leave right now, so it falls to me to present the mayor's report. So I don't know if there's any questions right off the bat, or I can jump right into it.
No, go right ahead.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so throughout the month of November 2024, the Fort Smith RCMP received 151 calls for service. The community action plan, so the priorities that were agreed upon for the fiscal year: road safety, reconciliation, community engagement, and harm reduction. So the detachment addressed road safety this month by, we received 3 reports of impaired drivers from members of the public, as well as doing some proactive enforcement when we're able. And we also conducted 3 targeted enforcement actions over the month relating to traffic safety specifically. So approximately 80 vehicles were checked or stopped during the month for minor infractions, traffic infractions. Warnings and tickets were issued in several instances. And again, so the way that the community can assist us in kind of road safety is calling us. If a member of your family, someone you know, if you see someone drinking and they get into their car behind the wheel and drive, give the RCMP a call, and we take those complaints very seriously. So moving on to our next priority is reconciliation, community engagement. So the detachment members undertook a number of different activities. I think the highlight over the past month was the symposium that was held kind of throughout the community, mostly at Salt River First Nation Band Hall. I gave a presentation, several other members from the detachment gave presentations. We had a member come in from Yellowknife who also assisted with the presentations. From my perspective, I gave one of the presentations specifically around kind of the RCMP's perspective in the community, what we're seeing as far as drug trafficking, and the feedback that I got from that, specifically to my presentation, was that members found it, or people found it insightful and kind of eye-opening to see kind of the reality that the RCMP is dealing with in town. And yeah, I think the other presentations were well received at JVT, PWK, by members of the community. So we also had Constable Kleeman. He participated in a potluck at the Anglican Church. Also, Constable Kleeman participated in the Remembrance Day Parade. Obviously, there was the swearing in of council members. Yeah, Constable Kleeman was involved in some other activities with the Anglican Church. So the last priority that we have here is harm reduction. So in the course of our duties, we do compliance checks on repeat and high-risk offenders, and we do that throughout the course of the month. So that includes curfew checks, going to people's addresses when they're supposed to be home, ensuring they're home. If they're not, then we take an enforcement action. So again, and this was reported on the last mayor's report as well from the previous month with regards to calls for service for mental health. So in the last month, we responded to 11 calls for service under the Mental Health Act. So I don't know how familiar you are with what that call for service might generally entail, but it could be something about, or someone texts family member or friends saying, hey, I might be having suicidal thoughts or things of that nature, and then we're called upon to kind of address that situation. So the action that we take depends on what we encounter when we locate that person. So yeah, that's something that we're seeing quite a bit of, I'd say, in the community. So this is the first time I'm doing this report. Do you want me to go through all the different occurrences line by line, or?
Maybe just mention anything that's stands
Yeah.
out.
So, I mean, I say as far as anything that stands out, when I was doing the numbers, there's nothing that specifically jumped out at me as being, really notable this month. Obviously, a number of calls for service are up this year over last year, but obviously with the evacuation, and there would have been slightly less calls for service last year. One thing I would mention is that since the jail has closed, what we're seeing is normally when we would arrest someone and let's say they were being held to see a justice of the peace for a hearing, we would take them over to the Fort Smith jail. But now we're holding at the detachment, so we're going to see an increase in prisoner numbers and an increase in prisoner numbers that are held at the detachment because of the jail closure. So just as a piece of information. Yeah, I don't know if there's any questions. Sorry if I spoke a little quickly, but yeah.
To your knowledge, is the secure room at the hospital functional yet?
So, from what I understand, and this is probably a question that's better addressed to the health center, but as far as I know, that room is not operational at the moment. And I think, from what I understand in conversations that I've had, there's maybe some issues with the room construction, that it doesn't meet certain specifications. So that's, it's probably a question better for suited for the health center.
I noticed on here, drug trafficking as of November year to date was 55 compared to the previous year total is 18, so we're not even the complete year yet, and we're more than double. Is that due to an increase in actual drug trafficking, or is that due to an increase in enforcement in cracking down on that?
So I think there's a couple of different aspects to that. It's I think as a trend in the territory, we are seeing more drug trafficking, and specifically there's people coming from the south, so whether it's Ontario, Alberta, coming into the communities and selling drugs. I also think part of that is community awareness around reporting. So I think that people are seeing it impact their family members, and they're taking action, they're calling us. So I think we're also getting more reports of drug trafficking, which assists us in our investigations as well. So I would encourage anyone who suspects or believes or has any knowledge about drug trafficking to call the RCMP.
What's your staffing numbers at right now?
So right now, I'd say we're in a bit of a transitory period because, like I said, Sergeant Yilmaz left. So we're 5 at the moment in the detachment, and I know that we're expecting another member in February, and that we'd be expecting another member a little later in the year. So, like I said, it's a bit of a transitory period. There's transfers going on, but I know we are expecting members to come into the community.
At the drug symposium there, they had talked about increasing numbers here for our total staffing numbers. Are we at those numbers yet? Or we will be?
We're not fully staffed. So essentially, and I think I remember that question specifically is with regards to the First Nations policing program.
Yeah.
So there's additional positions that were created throughout the territory, and depending on the community size and need, I think there was allocated differently for each community. And so we have 2 of those positions here in Fort Smith. So the total staffing strength with those additional 2 positions would be 10. Okay. That's where those positions are
ahead.
I have a question about the numbers for theft under 5,000.
Mhm.
That's quite a difference from last year. So I asked the Director of Protective Services the same thing with the amount of break-in enters and thefts that are going on in the community. Can you work with him to do public service announcements about how to properly protect your property and your house? They have their own Facebook site. They're more than capable. They're very technically advanced for, you know, protective services. They can throw ads together and videos and all of that, but I think they just need a little bit of support from the RCMP to make sure that the information is current and legal. Please. That's a request.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So the director, Mr. McNabb there? Okay, yeah. We can definitely touch base with Adam McNabb to address that issue. And I would say that, so the theft under 5,000 is more, let's say someone reports that like a wallet was stolen, or, I mean, generally, or like, let's say someone stole something from the Northern store, for example. So that would be a theft. A break and enter is specifically, yeah, like someone breaking into a house, and so they're just slightly different, but yeah, we can definitely, I'll reach out to Adam and we can set up some messaging around that specifically on steps that people can take to kind of protect their.
I'll see you.
Just one more from the drug campaign. It was really well done. Both myself and Deputy Mayor attended all sessions that were of that, and you guys did a great job on reporting. And like, I was made well more aware than what was in our community than what I thought was in our community. And is there anything going to happen maybe after now with the schools, or is there more outreach going to happen, or educate? Like, is there anything from your guys that you're going to do more in the schools in an education capacity, like kind of spearheading off of what was happening within that symposium?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as far as next steps, obviously with, it's been discussed, is the new creation of the Territorial Crime Reduction Unit, so hoping that that will assist us in the enforcement side in the communities, and then also as far as different presentations to PWK, JBT, and bringing awareness to the issue. Well, we did the presentations in the symposium, and I know that I can't give you exactly how many. I don't want to give you a wrong answer, but we do presentations in the schools, and we're obviously open to doing more and providing, yeah, more information to kids and in general about drug use, and yeah, just making them aware of what's going on and how to avoid it. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Anyone else have any more?
Just one, give credit where credit's due, and then it'll come in next month's report, I hope, but the work you guys have done as a detachment with the Métis daycare, the town daycare, and tomorrow JPT, every child will be getting a present presented by Santa Claus with the RCMP attendants, and bylaw was there, and the wardens will be there tomorrow, I think, as well, from Parks Canada, so, but it's spearheaded by the RCMP, and credit where credit's due. Good job.
thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we love the community. Portsmouth is an amazing community, and wherever we can get involved, we'll look to do that.
Anyone else have questions? All right, well, thank you very much, Alex. You are free to go.
Thank you very much.
You are related.
People don't usually tell me that. All right. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good Christmas.
Thanks as well.
Are you doing pancakes tomorrow?
I will be there.
Okay. All right, so if we move on the agenda, we'll move the approval of minutes.
I'll move it.
I'll move that the regular meeting of 11/24 of November 19th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Second it, okay. All in favor? Perfect. Carried. Was there any business from those minutes? Oh, Mike, really? There's no business from those minutes? All right. Oh my gosh, okay. Are we missing the special meeting? It's not on my backer.
The special meeting.
Take approval of minutes.
Okay, no,
Did that
maybe.
last time.
All right, there's no declaration of financial interest. Oh, sorry, here it is. Going on to council business, protective services.
I'll move that the Protection Services Standing Committee minutes from December 3rd, 2024 be adopted as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. The DPA?
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll move that DPA 045-24 submitted by Matthew Walsh from Old Lot 1817, Plan 4403, 21 SS Distributor Drive in Fort Smith be approved.
I'll second.
Okay. Questions? In favor? Okay. Is passed. Go on to the next.
I'll move that the Corporate Services Standing Committee minutes from December 3rd, 2024 be adopted as presented.
I'll second.
Okay.
Who's second, sorry?
Adam. Discussion? All in favor? Okay. It's carried. Next one on the corporate services.
I'll move that administration provide a report detailing the current number of vacant positions within the town of Fort Smith at January 7th, 2025 corporate services meeting.
Okay. Any questions? Discussion? Oh, Mike.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just for clarification, this will be an ongoing monthly report included in our corporate services
Okay.
meeting or committee meeting report.
Did you want to amend the motion then?
Well, I'm just asking if it, or is it just a one-time?
Oh. SAO.
I'm just, but they are posted on our website, all of the positions that are vacant. Like we do regularly post them. If we're searching to fill positions, they are posted there. If it's something the council does want to see added, then we can do our best, absolutely, to keep that updated. But that's, it is posted publicly whenever there's an empty position. So it's up to council.
Any other discussion? Okay.
If there's an easy way to track it, just to see, you know, vacancies and turnover, a good way to identify trends over multiple years. So, I mean, if there is a reasonable way of tracking that, not even every month, but maybe even, you know, once a year, or same way we look at budgets and rates.
SAO?
It's something I can ask the actual directors if they want to add that to each of their reports. If there's any vacancies that they can actually report within the report that they have. Does that satisfy that? Is that good? Should we actually just report it, put it right on to the department reports?
Yeah. You're not amending this motion though. This motion is still standing as a standalone item for January 7th. And then in addition to that,
Yeah, I
you're
have no
doing it.
problem just asking the directors
Okay.
to add that on to it.
Okay. Perfect. So,
Oh, no, took words out of my mouth, so I'm good.
I'm just wondering, like today, the office was closed. Do we not have people to fill those positions?
everyone called in sick.
We don't have casuals to fill them?
SA.
Can I?
Yeah,
speak to
SAO.
that? The team is excellent at backing each other up. Everybody's cross-trained in the main office, and everybody was sick. Yeah, and some struggled through yesterday that shouldn't have.
Any other questions, comments? All right. All in favor to the motion? Okay, it is passed. Next one.
I move that administration coordinate and encourage the completion of ICS 100 training for all council members to be completed by June 2025.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Who's second?
Madam. Any discussion? Deputy Mayor?
Tracy and I talked this week, I got ahold of Jim, and he needed all of our our emails and phone numbers, because we have to get some special software to get onto the training. I can't remember the name of it, he rattled it off really quick. He said, I have to probably walk each of us who haven't done it before through it, I'd be one of those, I've never done it before.
That's been completed.
So, that's been, okay, so
Yeah, he's
that,
been shared with everybody who hasn't taken it yet, their information has been provided to them.
okay, because that was this week, just following up with your notes, so. Otherwise, yeah, let's get it done.
I'll just add, I've taken all those courses, I've on their MACA, their CERB thing, it's pretty easy if you've taken any kind of online course, it's very step by step.
I'm pretty sure I did it in Parks, but I'll do it again just to make sure I got it to the, I wasn't late 17 prior, so.
All right, any other questions?
For that, do we come to a certain location to do it, or we can do it wherever?
It's totally online, it's an online course, do at your own pace.
Or you have an appliance.
3 hours.
It's about 3 hours total time. It's not that bad. I've taken it. It's really good. There's also other information stuff too. It's really good. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. All in favor? Okay. It's passed. The next one here.
I'll move the council approve the selection of Avery Cooper and Company as the town's auditor for the fiscal years 2024, 25, and 2026.
Okay. Any questions?
Need a seconder before we have
I
questions.
did. I had fun.
Didn't see it, sorry.
Can I just ask so that they do speak up, because Ravina's also capturing the minutes, so if you are seconding, just please vocalize it. I saw you.
Yeah, I wrote your name down too, so who was that? So for sure. Any other question?
I'm assuming that they have been the auditors for the last number of years.
Yes. All in favor? Motion carried. Next one.
I move that council retroactively approve the awarding of the purchase of 2 trucks to the lowest price bidder, Aurora Ford NWT, for $136,559.85.
Rita, that was me.
Thank you.
All right, any questions?
Why retroactively?
Good. Do you want SAO to answer?
I'm just understanding, like usually, why are we going after the fact?
So it was just a, do you want,
Yeah, absolutely. If I have the briefing note, it was in last week's package, the last week's package. There is just a little bit of process that was missed, and we're just sort of catching up and fixing things now. But I can absolutely forward you that package and those briefing notes from last week.
No, but I'm satisfied with your answer.
any other question? Okay, all in favor? Okay, it is passed. Next one. Okay,
I move that town facilities close at noon on Tuesday, December 24th, 2024, and that town staff dependent on operational needs be given a half day on December 24th, 2024. Should operational requirements necessitate employment on this noted date, the employee should be given equivalent time off at unusually earned.
That's okay, yeah.
okay. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
I'll move this one. So I move that the Community Services Standing Committee minutes from December 10th, 2024 be adopted as present or presented.
Second.
Yes. Any Any business with minutes? Comments, questions? All in favor? It's passed. Next one.
I move that council, having reviewed the revised draft community plan, recommend the first reading at the December 17th council meeting, subject to any further revisions based on the December 10th standing committee discussion.
Get ready to read it.
Okay, any discussion? Questions? Okay, all in favor? Passed. Next one.
I'll move that the administration prepare a briefing note on the cost analysis for council members to attend the 2025 annual general meeting in Yellowknife.
I'll second that.
Questions? Discussion?
I thought we were just going to get that today.
It's in the
Yes,
time.
yes.
All in favor? Okay, it's passed. Next one.
I move that the minutes of the Municipal Services Standing Committee meeting on December 10th, 2024 be received as information.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Nice.
Did you have a question? Oh, okay. All right, so moving on the agenda, we have the briefing note for the overview for the application of our standing offer agreement. Did you want to speak to this at all, Asio?
So in August, council motioned, directed administration to go out for tender for project management services on a standing offer basis, so that we had the pricing secured in and that we had competitive options in regards to the project management. We had only one response at that time, a international firm, WSP, and we have been utilizing them in the interim. And then in November, I did a second RFP so that we could expand that pool of candidates, and that resulted in 4 additional responses. So this initiative aims to streamline our procurement process and ensure access to qualified professionals for municipal projects, including infrastructure upgrades and community facility developments. It's also great just to have those on hand when just for putting out quick RFPs, for being able to get some information to work with on proposal development for the technical elements, for proposals that have to go out very quickly. It just definitely streamlines it that I have their pricing locked in and that I can then put out a call to these ones and they've already pre-qualified. So we already know the technical, I already know who I can reach out to, who specializes in water services or who specializes in environmental. So it's really, definitely will have benefits and help expedite a lot of the process that we go through when we're trying to figure out how we move forward on a lot of our projects. We had 5 proposals. We evaluated, or I evaluated, I went through them just against the criteria that was set out in the RFP. And of those, 4 of them is who I recommend that we actually accept as pre-qualified standing offer agreements for project management services. So we have Colliers, WSP, Masqua Engineering, Dillon Consulting. Those are the 4 that I recommend we go forward with. All of them have strong northern experience and a good variety of skills and specialties so that we have that at our beck and call, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
Any questions?
So you
Oh,
go.
sorry. Councillor Corbett?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Sort of on a related matter, I was trying to do some research on what the limits were for accessing SOAs as a means of procurement versus having to actually issue a formal tender whether it was like a 5,000 threshold, 25,000 or 50,000. I found it a bit frustrating using the town website and not being able to find a copy of the procurement policy on our website. So I know it does need to be updated, and we're in the process of doing that, but I think it should be available as a public document for contractors and people like me that are doing research to be able to access that type of information readily from the town website, so.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and just a little bit, get a little bit of clarification. So you go through this list on a rotating basis, or do you pick and choose who matches the project with the skills? Like how do you pick out of the four?
Basically both, depending on the need, absolutely, and ensuring that there is fair and equitable distribution. And I would put it out to all four. It just makes we've got this coming up. If they're interested in possibly bidding on something like that, then they may not want to step forward as the project management. Some of the really big ones, exactly, like I would put it out there and say, hey, we've got a big build coming up. I need somebody to help me design the tender for this to get that ready. And, they could say, actually, we're probably gonna bid on that one, so we're not gonna project manage this one.
And you SOAs, I'm asking the SAO about the SOA. Do they have a sunset clause? Is it for a specific period of time, or is it just open?
I haven't developed that full agreement yet, but at least 1 year.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else with questions? Adam?
Is there an interest in kind of expanding the SOA system to be more generalized rather than just what's currently out there for just the services that the town would generate? Am I asking that right? Or is it already that way? The way I'm hearing, the way that it's set up, is it just for the project management, or is it for other things that the town might need?
At this time, it is just for the project this was an RFP just for project management services.
Right.
Have we gone out further with that? No.
Okay.
And it's something that I would like to implement more, and I have brought up with my senior management committee, is that we could be looking at this a little more, at having, and if we had more time and more people, we could have procurement processes that would include that kind of, where we go once a year for RFP for machine rentals. What we've done in the past is that who has heavy equipment in town, that if we need extra equipment, and get the price list locked in. So it definitely is something I've done in the past. It's something we'll do in the future.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor?
Just as a thought, because I've dealt with SOAs when I was in the federal service, but would it be smart to put it for a year, but with a review before council to give yourself another year extension or something? I just see it's a lot of work for a 1 year deal. If it's working well, do you really want to do that all over again, or can you do a renewal that's easy, administratively proper but easier, rather than having to do another call out another year for people again and reassess bids? Can we renew it for another year? I know the feds do that on some purchasing ones, where they'll offer the opportunity to be reviewed and extend.
I've got yes. I'm looking at different examples right now of what
Okay.
they could look like. The only problem with that is that you're asking them to lock in their pricing
Okay.
on a based-in, right? So if you go back to that RFP for audit services, they had an annual increase built into their quote. Nobody here has provided that. I didn't ask for that, and
Okay.
nobody came for it because it was a 1 year, let's test this out, let's see where we're at. I don't wanna lock in until I see how this works out. But if we did go for a multi-year level, then they would have that opportunity to be able to say that we want an inflationary cost built in, so that year two.
I'm just trying to save you guys work, unless you do this every year, if you could.
Well, what I
Have a
could
review
do,
process.
the opportunity would be to come back out and say, is everybody good to stand? And be reconsidered for 1 more year.
All right, so this actually hasn't been read in, so if someone will, so we can
Part B then?
go. Yeah.
Okay, I move that council approve entering into standing offer agreements with the following pre-qualified candidates for project management services. 1, Colliers Project Leaders. 2, WSP Canada Inc., 3, Masqua Engineering Limited, 4, Dillon Consulting.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any other questions or discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay, it is so. Okay, next is the call for resolutions.
Are you missing one here, the one motion for the briefing notes?
Kind of was, I sent it out to you sorry.
What is, sorry, yeah.
Let me jump in there. It was sort of to overview of what a standing offer agreement was. We did kind of miss putting it in the package, and I think we forgot to print it off. But I did send it out, you know, it's more just an overview of what a standing offer agreement was. Without it, it was more just informational. If you check your emails, I did.
We got it, Rich.
Oh, did you just not?
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
probably, yeah.
It's in the handouts here.
They're in the hand, oh, it's right there, yeah. But we did skip it. I was just not gonna,
I skipped something?
yeah. It was informational.
Oh. Okay, all right, so we're at the call for resolutions for NWT AGM, AC AGM.
okay. I move that council receive this briefing note for informations. The briefing note for call for resolutions for NWTAC AGM February 2025. Next steps: 1, identify topics or priority for resolutions. 2, work with administration to draft and finalize the resolutions. 3, submit the approved resolutions by January 24th, 2025 deadline.
Seconder? Okay, Mike, Deputy Mayor. Is there any other discussion? Councillor Covet.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just wondering at this time if we should be setting a date for us to meet to discuss potential items that we want to first look at for potential draft resolutions, and then a second date for having those ready to go to, if we have a January 24th deadline to NWTAC, we'll need to have those resolutions reviewed by committee and approved for our next council meeting in January.
You want to set those dates now, or can we do that after this?
We could ask administration to advise us of dates for availability.
Okay. Esther?
I absolutely support council setting a working committee to work. I was gonna suggest that we do a working committee on these. I don't have any time between now and January 4th to do it, but I'll be back after that, but council's absolutely fine to have a meeting, a committee meeting. I can probably even volunteer staff to take minutes. To do that, if you wanted to have one over the holidays, to just sort of draft it. I know you've had some ideas and
Yep.
you've already submitted some ideas to that, and I thought there were some other conversations around that, so absolutely, and once I get back, I have no problem finalizing and putting them together.
Can we task then your staff just to give us her available dates that it would work for them, so that we could meet as a committee before we pick a date?
Pick a date, we can find out if I don't have staff available. I mean, I happen to know the staff I'm gonna task
Yeah.
is working between Christmas and New Year's, so, you know.
Does it have to be during the holidays?
We could do it the first week of, or the second week of January.
What committees are going to?
None of the, like S-tab, C-tab, E-tab, all those things have not been scheduled yet to happen, so those things aren't occurring just yet. They haven't been scheduled yet, as I understand. So our January is open, so it's not due until the 29th. We could meet.
4th.
24th, sorry, oh, sorry. So we could meet either like on the 8th and the 15th,
We'll need to pass it here as a motion, won't we? Like, whatever we're gonna
before
go
the
for.
21st.
Yeah, so that'll be at the 21st.
Well, your first council meeting is January 7th, so I would suggest that maybe you have a working group earlier, that you have a committee
what I was
meeting on the
thinking.
7th. So how about a 5:30 meeting to go through that
Okay,
and bring those ideas forward?
on January 7th?
Yeah. If you don't want to do it during the holidays, then it would be good to have it just a working meeting before you go into the committee meeting.
You could do the same thing again on the 14th then,
Yep. If you need to hash.
if we needed to, or what?
I think,
Why don't we set it for the 14th then, because then it would give us more time. Your way?
I think if you get it to me that first
January
week.
7th it is at 5:30.
Or you do it right after, because our committees are wrapping up by before 8, so we can have following the committee. How about we do that? 6 is, we'd have to come really early. So how about we have it following the committee meeting on the 7th?
Do you guys agree?
That's
Does that
easier.
work?
Yeah.
Is that easier? Okay, so after the 7th, after we're done? Okay.
But we're starting at 5:30, right?
No, 6, the
Six.
whole time, sorry.
Okay,
And if you go back through your emails, I think I responded to Dana with something that I proposed for this one, which was about an NWT-wide plan or vision for how the north would be done, if you remember that email.
and you guys go in, if you go online and look at past resolutions and things that maybe you wanna bring up as something that's still relevant and you want us to continue and move on, those are all really good in there as well, so.
There's a lot on the
It's
rest.
homework, maybe just homework over the holidays if you can, like,
Just a reminder, if you don't mind, within the briefing note is the direct link to the past resolutions and the reaffirmed resolutions.
okay, perfect. Any other discussion on this? Nope. All right, all in favor? Okay, moving on to the next briefing note about community government carbon tax revenue sharing grants. Can I have someone move it? Carl?
I'll move that council allocate the funding from the community government carbon tax revenue sharing grant toward funding a asset assessment initiative. This initiative will focus on critical infrastructure, including the water treatment plant, to identify opportunities for improved efficiency, sustainability, and preparedness for future funding opportunities.
I second that.
All right,
Yep.
so, any discussion? Questions? Did you want to follow up with anything? No? Okay,
No, I think everything's in your package, including the letter.
perfect. All right, no discussion? Oh, was that a yes?
I was something in the wording and then I just trying to find the note on my screen here, but it was a funny choice of words. It's just wordsmithing of your briefing note, but it would just be, But it was about the fact that the money was intended for something else, but it isn't. I mean, I think these proposals all will meet the requirements that even this funding was for. It's just the way it was stated, it seemed like this was going outside of the bounds, and I don't think it is. I think it's well within the bounds.
No, may I speak to that just
Yeah.
for 2
Yeah.
seconds? I can't remember where I put that in there. But the letter came with a suggestion of how
Yeah.
to spend it, and that twitched me a tiny little bit, but I do see the value of utilizing it for our water treatment plant for
But
the
that
assets
all
we
of those
actually do.
would
Yeah.
be good use of environmental responsibilities.
Yeah.
We pollute the river, I mean, so to me, it's not outside the bounds of this. I think we're actually honoring some of their intent.
I think the intention is being
Yeah.
honored, but I mean, it's not a directive, it's a suggestion
Yeah.
from them. That's all.
Councillor Corbett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As an example for Yellowknife received $116,000 of this funding, and they're actually using it to offset increases in their annual mill rate tax increases. So I think applying it to the infrastructure assessment, and part of that infrastructure assessment, I hope will include an assessment of the operational efficiencies of that building, such as whether it needs to be upgraded for insulation and possibly fitting it for LED lights and things like that perfectly fall into the parameters of what this is being projected for, so. I think it's better than using it to keep the taxes down.
Any other, Councillor Cox?
Yeah, thanks. I think just reading it and saying, we're talking about asset assessments, that quickly, my mind jumped to the assessment management systems. And
Asset management. Yeah.
asset management systems, and just if there's a way we could try and utilize that as part of that process of doing the assessments, and if there's ways to tie those two together, I think it could be useful to start using asset management a little more.
It'll definitely inform our asset assessments when we do put together the asset management plan. It includes asset assessments for each of the different asset classes, so it'll definitely inform it.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, it is passed. Okay, moving on. Briefing note for acting SAO. Maybe.
I just don't have any of the additional ones, so you guys do. Is it, do we have them?
I don't have
Very
that.
loosely. Yeah, is it possible that all briefing notes be printed out? 'Cause
They are
it's-
all printed out.
I know, but like some are here, some are there. You know what
So
I mean?
unfortunately, a lot came up, after, sort of, so on the weekend, I ended up coming in on Sunday and I did apologize via email. I just said, I'm sorry I'm slamming you guys for this. There's a lot going on
Mhm.
last week, so I did have some late additions. And I do
I think-
apologize.
Yeah, it's not printed, it's in our email, I remember reading it. That's okay. So,
I can speak to it.
sure. No one's moved or it's not
Oh,
a
yeah, sorry.
motion yet?
Sorry.
Okay.
I move that council by motion, 1, appoint Emily Colucci, Director of Community Services, as acting SAO for the period of December 19th to 28th, 2024. 2, appoint Adam McNabb, Director of Protective Services, as acting SAO for the period of December 29th, 2024 to January 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Second? Deputy Mayor? Okay, SAO, please.
Basically, I'm, Emily, Director of Community Services, is available until 28th, and then she will actually be leaving town. Normally, Emily is our standing acting SAO whenever I'm not available. But unfortunately for her, she's going away at that time, so she won't be in town and be available, so that's why we had to split it halfway through. And plus, it is the holidays, so splitting the duties was just fair.
Any questions? Councillor Corbett?
Just being picky here, being that Director Colucci is already appointed standing at SAO, is there a reason why we would have to appoint her for this period?
SAO?
I'm actually looking into the validity of that ongoing one, because according to the Cities, Towns and Villages Act, it says that you have the authority to appoint an officer, acting officer, but doesn't say how long. So I've actually reached out to MACA for some clarity on if we can do that and have a in perpetuity, because we didn't do it as a bylaw, we did it as a motion. Right, so if it's not a bylaw, was it only valid for that point? So anyways, I'm looking into the validity of it, so just to cover all the bases, I put it in here.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Are you all out? Okay, thanks. Perfect, those are carried. On to the next here for the community plan first reading.
I move that the council hereby give the first reading of bylaw 1060 cited as the Town of Fort Smith Community Plan.
All right.
Second, was that Carl?
Carl. Discussion? Counselor Cravette?
Yeah, sorry, just being a stickler for detail here. Typically, there's it's a preamble that goes along with the first reading of any proposed bylaw, and it seems to be absent from this particular motion.
To do the first read, I think we have to read the whole bylaw in its entirety, or don't we have to read something like a?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said,
Okay,
when I went and looked at Yellowknife, which was the last community that updated their community plan, they read it in just like that. Just saying, but no, I do agree, and I thought we did have it in there. The bylaw itself is within the package, though. I know I saw it.
I don't have a paper copy of that.
The bylaw is within the package.
I just have the,
Yeah, just,
okay. Do you have it?
no, but if the package is,
Do you want to read the entirety? Because
well,
I'm
the
just,
person that moved the motion.
legislatively, it's not required.
Yeah.
It has
Well,
been
just the
traditionally.
first part of it, up to where it says, the short title of the bylaw.
Since you read it.
Yeah, so which part? So just, okay. And so what am I changing from what I said over?
Say, I move that I recommend, I give the first reading bylaw by, and then read
And just,
And then just go into this?
Yeah.
Okay,
to this, you have to read this whole section.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
sorry about that.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Alright, so I move the council hereby give first reading of bylaw 1060 cited as the Town of Fort Smith Community Plan. And it's over here, it is a bylaw of the Council of the Municipal Corporate of the Town of Fort Smith in the Northwest Territories, authorizing the municipal corporation of the Town of Fort Smith to adopt a community plan for the Town of Fort Smith pursuant to Part 2, Section 3 to 7, inclusive of the Community Planning and Development Act, SNWT 2011 C22, and B, the due notice to the public provision for inspection of this bylaw and due opportunity for objections thereto to be heard and considered and determined, and C, the approval of the Minister of Municipal and Community Affairs certified hereunder. Whereas the municipal corporation of the Town of Fort Smith deems it desirable to adopt a community plan by bylaw. Now, therefore, the Council of the Municipal Corporation of the Town of Fort Smith in regular session is duly assembled and acts as follows.
That's it.
That's it?
We're good.
Okay.
And then Councilor Cox seconded, we're good to go. Any other questions? Discussion? No?
No,
Councilor
that might
Cox?
be,
Just other than the one, there's a T missing in the last paragraph that he read there, the last sentence that he read.
In the actual bylaw?
Yeah,
Okay, noted.
yeah, Fort Smith, not Fort Smith.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up, but it's worth mentioning again. I just to clarify, in that plan, it talks about the sewage lagoon and not having any new developments within 450 meters. As that lagoon sits there right now, there's 13 properties approximately that are within 450 meters of that. So I just like to clarify that that will be addressed or grandfathered, and it's not going to affect, you know, people who want to build those lots as were intended historically.
Okay.
I think we need to sit down and have a deeper discussion with that, and maybe sit down with the planner and discuss that, because some of the responses back, I needed to get some clarification on, because I did submit that. Did you see her responses back?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how about we have a further discussion on that one separately?
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor? First reading is read. Motion carried.
That's right.
Okay, so now we're on to appointments.
I think so.
Okay, fantastic.
I move the council approve the reappointment of Roma Nazwas onto the Community Services Advisory Board for a 2-year term ending December 2026.
Second, Counselor Cox. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? It is so carried. The next one?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll move that council approve the appointment of Rebecca Pumphrey onto the Community Services Advisory Board for a 2-year term ending in December 2026.
I second that.
second, okay. Any comments, discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? It is passed. Perfect. Okay. Perfect, so we're going on now to our boards and representatives, counselor updates. So we'll go around the room. Usually we start with Counselor Tucky, he's not here, so we'll start with Counselor Cox. And then we'll just move around the room.
Yeah, not a whole lot to add. Just worth mentioning, we had the emergency services to the food and toy drive last week. Great success. I think big kudos to all the volunteers, both emergency services and everybody who helped afterwards with the packaging and distribution and whatnot. It was a great success. Also worth mentioning, I was swimming at the pool last week and I happened to be chatting with a college student and he was commenting on how great the rec center was and was really impressed by it and the fact that how accessible it was and how easy it was for the college students to get in there and utilize it. So I just wanted to pass that on to people as well. So I think that was it, yeah.
All right, Counselor Cravette?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to wish everybody a very festive season. Be safe. Take care of people that need to be taken care of. There are a lot of vulnerable people out there that can use your assistance over this period. Now to council business. We had a NTPC intervention committee meeting. It was about to say late last week in regards to submitting questions to the NWT Public Utility Board regarding the proposed rate increase. We're, as a town, will continue to submit our thoughts and concerns with the proposed rate increases. And I believe there was about a total of 7 or 8 questions that we're asking for specific interest and for the Power Corp to provide a response to. If anybody wants further information, they can get a hold of me and I'll provide them a more detailed briefing on the question specific. There was a bit of good news related to this whole issue announced by the GNWT about a week and a half ago, where they have agreed or have committed to providing $12 billion per year to the Power Corporation to offset some of the rate increases that they're proposing. Figures that they're quoting would be that the rate increase would drop from a year-on total of 24.1% down to about 17%. So they're proposing, or 15%, sorry. So they are proposing a drop, but still 15%, still a lot for what we consider a mismanaged operation, and we'll continue to pursue or try and convince NWT Public Utility Board that they need to provide NWT Power Corp additional information on how they should become more efficient and provide power at a much more reasonable rate. I don't think we can be proud of being the highest electricity paying consumers in Canada. It's not a badge I want to wear. There was also, the town was party to some information regarding the college. We do have a post-secondary education committee, and part of the discussion was with the Board of Governors, the chair of the Board of Governors and the president of the college. We had a good, about a 3.5 hour meeting with them. They were outlining some of the programming that's happening in the near future and a little bit outwards. One of the main ones is the introduction of a new program starting in September. It's general studies, or some other people may refer to it as a fine arts program, to assist people preparing to enter into degree diploma programs. So the course is being offered in person at our campus. It's also being offered online, but the vast majority of the material promoting it is to encourage students to take the online version of the in-person course here in our community. It's a 2-year program. They also indicated that they anticipate the teacher education program being introduced in September 2026. Again, another 2-year program coming back to our campus. As part of this, the town and the other community governments have agreed to work with the college to develop some marketing material promoting the community as a safe, healthy, and great community for students to come and study at. There was some concerns addressed that Fort Smith did have a bit of a rough and tumble reputation from decades ago, and that is still a bit prevalent in some of the smaller communities. So we felt developing some TikTok related promotional material and printed material that the college can circulate to potential students might alleviate some of that, some of the perceptions about our community, and that we are a great community, and students are telling us like access to our rec center and stuff like that makes it a wonderful place to live. That's it, thank you.
Councilor Bennell, thank you. That's good to hear. But, I'm at the museum. They had a couple of meetings, but they couldn't get a hold of me through my council email. So I went in there and I would introduce myself to the lady and gave her my personal email in case any other problems should arise. And so we're communicating through that. And I really like what they're doing there, especially buying art from our local people and presenting it, selling it for them, and well, not for them, they're buying it and selling it, but they're promoting local art, so that's really, really good. Because there's a lot of people who are struggling, and they're really good artists, and so the museum is taking that and showing it for them. And I want to wish you all
express my condolences to the family of Patty Heimer. Definitely really sad to hear about Solomon. He was a good guy, great cab driver, great conversationalist, and really my heart breaks for you, Patty. So I'm really proud to be part of the Kinship on the Land Winter Camp that we're doing in collaboration with Salt River First Nation, Smiths Landing First Nation, and Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center and Portsmouth Métis Council out at Tabacha. It's 3 weeks of weekend winter programming at zero cost to the community, so lots of kids participating in that, keeping the traditions alive, and doing some social programming in the evenings as well to deal with teen suicide, healthy families, healthy sex, online predators and stuff like that. So really, really proud to be part of that with Councilor Benoit, and hope to see a great fireworks show at New Year's Eve.
Just want to say there's no place like home. I'm so glad to be back after my misadventures of the last 2 weeks. I'd like to wish all the residents and all the town staff a very safe and restful holiday season. Take care. Be safe if you're traveling during this season. It's not the easiest to do. That's really all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to wish happy holidays to everyone here on council as well as in town here, and just thank you to all the staff for the work they've been doing. It's noticeable that we're like when we heard earlier about the rec center and the arena. It's just really nice to have those facilities up and running well. So it's much appreciated. And then just kudos. I wanted to particularly call out Dan Brown, who I witnessed a real act of kindness, and just seeing that kind of, we're talking about the holidays and people in need, and just recognizing that there's really nice, caring members of our community. So it's nice to see.
Adding on to Patty's comments for Patty Heimer, she's got a brother that's also recovering from a massive heart attack that we all knew, Kevin, in Fort Smith. So again, Patty, sending our love and support for that. Hope that your brother's going to do better. Her post today said he was recovering well, so I'm going to take that as a plus. I have spent a lot of the last few weeks helping the big red guy, as you all know, Santa Claus, visit all over Fort Smith. You heard earlier the RCMP have been doing things, schools, bands, Minkasila at the basket chip plant, Silver. So what I can tell you without any doubt, and I think tonight the sleigh is supposed to start up in Fort Smith. So I can tell you without any doubt that Christmas spirit in Fort Smith is fine and well. So Merry Christmas to everyone. And if you haven't seen Santa yet, you've got a few more days. There's a couple more bookings coming.
Thanks. I'm glad Mike spoke to it. I was going to mention about when the TLC met with the college, our Board of Governors and the President. He's hit most of the highlights of that, but I think also they are still proceeding with their Polytech accreditation, and that's a benefit to us in the sense that they're still going to move through that process. They do not have $80 million to build a institute in Yellowknife. That's never going to happen. They have completely broke. So, but still moving forward with the accreditation means that it moves forward our college, and so that you can get higher levels of education obtained through our college. And so that's a benefit for our community here with, as he said, we have our 2025 intake and then the 26-27 intake of all in-class studies happening in Fort Smith. Means we have to do a lot of work as a community to really market ourselves, because I don't think the college has the money or as much money as they'd like to market it. So it's going to be really on us to sell ourselves, not just for students, but for all in general who want to come live, work, play here in Fort Smith. If we're doing it just for one group, it's all across the board. It would benefit everybody. So that was a really, I think, good for Fort Smith leadership meeting that we had with those folks. And it was really busy. Like, we spoke to it with the drug campaign. That was a 3-day event, very eventful and very informative. And there's still lots going on. There's just Christmas time's kind of delayed some kind of meetings and those sorts of things, so there's still lots of work to do, so hopefully something will come up of that on an ongoing basis. For myself, I participated at the Métis AGM, welcoming all the delegates that we hosted here. It was a very huge success for our community to host that many people in our here, and they stayed and they spent money and they enjoyed our community, and it was well attended. So hosting large, even medium, small conferences like that in our community would have huge economic impact, having those kinds of things. And on the 26th, I went with the MLA and the Minister of Health, and we toured the closed facility of the River Ridge with some other folks. And so hopefully there is some funding there and some ongoing questions, more questions than answers probably for that. But I think that's a work in progress for what's happening there. And me and Deputy Mayor did pancake breakfast at JBT for their school morning and at 6:30 in the morning, which was really fantastic. And seeing all the kids there on their school appreciation day, or was it? Yeah. Oh, and Patty, yeah, you were there too.
I literally showed up to hand out juice boxes.
Well, you showed up, and it was 6:30 in the morning, and it was fabulous. So, again, you know, Christmas is hard if you're celebrating well. So if you know someone who's an elder, who's a neighbor, or anyone who's, you know, haven't seen for a while, make sure you poke in your head and see them. And I wish you all a good happy Christmas, good New Year. So we have no proclamations. Well, we're gonna go through this, and then we have the in-camera at the end.
With the FCM and NUATC.
Yeah, that just came up, we just noticed something that I don't think we
It's
actually
in the package,
addressed.
but it's not on the back.
We're gonna update the backer while we're in camera and bring it back down.
Out, when we come out of camera?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
If that's okay, yeah, we did miss that, didn't make it into the backer, it's in there. Yeah, so Ravina's just gonna fix that.
Okay,
Okay.
We're fixing it behind the scenes, guys.
fantastic.
That's all we did on the
So
floor.
we'll go through the absence of, folks can vote in second, the absence of counselors, and then we'll move to in-camera.
I move that Mayor Ferguson and Councillor Karzak be excused from the Protective Services Standing Committee meeting on December 3rd, 2024.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor? It is carried. The next one,
I'll move Mayor Ferguson and Council Karinchuk be excused from Corporate Services Standing Committee meeting on December 3rd, 2024.
I'll second.
okay. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, carried. Next one.
This is right, everyone around the table. The Councillor Karinchuk and Deputy Mayor Keiser and Councillor Tuckey be excused from the Community Services Standing Committee meeting on December 10th, 2024.
Second. Okay. Any questions?
Just comment that, Al, it's good to see you back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All in favor? Okay, carried. Next one.
I move that Councillor Karinchuk and Councillor Tuckey be excused from the Municipal Service Standing Committee meeting on December 10th, 2024.
Second.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Perfect.
My turn.
Yeah.
I move that Councillor Tuckey be excused from the regular meeting of council on December 17th, 2024.
Second.
Adam second. Okay, any questions? All in favor? Perfect. So the date of the next council meetings, we have Protective Services Committee meeting on January 7th at 6 p.m. Corporate Services Standing Committee meeting on January 7th at 7 p.m. Community Services Standing Committee at 6 p.m. Municipal Services Committee meeting at 7 p.m. and the regular meeting of council on the 21st, 2024 at 7 p.m. And I just need someone to move us into camera.
Okay, I move that council move in camera in accordance with the Cities, Towns and Villages Act, Section 23, Paragraph E, Subparagraph E. A matter still under consideration in which council has not yet publicly announced a decision. If discussions in public would likely prejudice the municipal corporation's ability to carry out its activities or negotiations.
Okay. Carl? Okay. Perfect. All in favor? Okay, we are aiming